So in this video, I'm going to walk through an update to my collecting strategy. If you haven't started the series from the top, I'm actually making these videos pretty much for my future self. I realize that some of my best days were early in my collecting journey. I wished I had captured those memories somehow, some way, and yeah, YouTube's a great way to do that. So making video along the way. I've morphed my strategy a little bit. One, I'm really liking this binder. It zips up. That's fantastic. I've said in other videos, but if it's the first time you've watched anything, I mainly buy graded coins, crack them out, and keep them raw. I just have a lot of goals with my collection. And yeah, if I own this many slabs, it would be like 10 plus PCGS boxes already, and that's out of control. It's just way more efficient to keep it this way. And yes, the cost will be to regrade it at some point to sell it, because nobody likes buying raw coins. That's okay. I don't really plan to. And honestly, some of the personal hacks I've learned is when I own a coin raw, when I own a coin graded, like I bought this one, didn't need it. I'll explain in a minute, but it's just so much easier to sell a graded coin, which is both a blessing and a curse. For me, I'm always changing my mind, I feel like, and I don't know, highly impatient. And I realize that it actually slows me down when I crack out the coin, because then now to sell this coin for its fair market value, I'll have to send it back into PCGS, and then 6 to 24 months later, they'll send it back to me graded, and then I could sell it. And just knowing that process is going to take forever, it slows me down and makes me really really thoughtful about what coins I buy. So starting off the top, I'm collecting my favorite series. Indian head cents are definitely my first love. This is what got me into collecting. I love more red than not, but buying truly red cents is outrageous. And on top of that, if I crack it out, it will inevitably turn a shade of brown anyway. I mean, many people can argue that Indian cents are going to turn a shade of brown even in a well-concealed holder, but who knows. In any case, I found that the sweet spot is to buy nearly red, but signified red-brown cents. And I'm doing pretty much a date set. Now, Indian cents are nice because that's all they are, except for the 08S and 09S, but those get kind of expensive in a 64 or 65 red-brown. And there's 30 slots. So for now, I worked backwards, 1909 back to 1880. You'd get dip in the 70s, and again, it blows up on cost. So just working my way slowly but surely to fill this. Not my first priority at the moment. One thing I wanted to start from the top is, and I've shown this in other videos, an array of toned wheat cents, but also a breakdown from, let me just show you, from most red, and it becomes a little bit less red. Try and get the light on it. And then it gets more and more brown as you go. It's just a really cool visual. Not very expensive to make that. If anything, the challenge had a little bit of technical difficulties there, but as I was saying, if anything, the challenge of this idea of trying to build a set of any cent series, but Lincoln wheat cents are cheap, from the most red to the most brown. In my ideal scenario is to stagger it every 5% down. Of course, that's somewhat subjective. You never know for sure. And then I did make another video on just really cool toned wheat cents, just an array of different type of toning. Check that out if you want to see better looks at that. My second love after Indian cents is Buffalo nickels, and I'm creating a modified set of that. Pretty much the 13s, not including the 13S. You know, one thing that I found, and again, feel free to take this if you like. Again, this is more for myself. The nice kind of strategy when you have this setup is you'll notice this one's flipped upside down. That means I've recently purchased it and it's coming in the mail. Same with this one. And also, if I'm bidding on a coin, say on Great Collections or eBay, I'll turn it sideways. Just kind of these little tricks of the trade to help me kind of keep organized as I'm slowly working through all these series. But my goal is to buy what I believe to be conservatively graded 64s, maybe a 65. Some of the, of course, later series get much cheaper. I'm avoiding for now the mint marks, teens and 20s, because that gets out of control. But once you get up into the 1930s, then I bring the mint marks back. At some point, my third love was the Jefferson nickel series. I just love this series because you can buy some really nice eye appeal coins for just so darn cheap. Nobody loves these coins, and that's fair. There's a lot of them. They don't have a rich history other than maybe the war nickel series. Just not a lot of appeal, but you get some really cool toners, and the full steps can be quite challenging in a fun kind of treasure hunt. So I'm working, that's going to be, I got a few that I've had for a long time that I put in there, but that'll be my last love, or last kind of series to really focus on. And then I would say my top priority right now is tone dimes, trying to get every date and mint mark to have stunning toning. Like this has been a recent pickup. I'm going to zoom in and show off some of these recent pickups, but I just thought, you know, it would be really cool if from 46 Philly to 64 Denver, I can have a super nice toned Roosevelt dime. What's great about these coins is they're just so undervalued in the market. They're equally as difficult to find very nice toning versus, say, a Morgan dollar. And common date, common grade Morgan dollars, if it has nice toning, it'll trade for 10x. The same thing with the Roosevelt dime, and that 10x in Morgan dollars might be 500 to 5,000. A really nicely toned Roosevelt dime at most would be $500, unless it's like some crazy grade like 68 or 67 plus full band. And I found that you can get some really nice looking coins in Mint State 66 for under $100. And that's pretty nice. And it allows you, if your goal is quantity over a small batch of high quality, to not be absolutely crushed by breaking the bank. So they're small little coins. I think that's part of why the series doesn't get as much appreciation. I'll show you one more. And I also noticed throughout my collecting here, as I have duplicates, so I'm calling them honorable mentions. For example, 1958, very common year for a blue toning in Roosevelt dimes. Like this one, the obverse is completely blue. The reverse has a bit more of the mint set toning. It's so intriguing how you start, when you really zero in on a series, you start to notice these tendencies of certain types of toning, and a lot of it is mint set driven, the old mint set holders. Yeah, let me try and zoom. This one's kind of a cool little target toner, also 1958. Not the best visual capturing of it, but you know, another interesting little treasure I found when I came to Roosevelt dimes are the people that are selling old Dansko albums that are full. For the most part, if you try and decipher the photographs, you'll notice that there's 4, 5, 6 of them in a, say, 50 or 60. I can't remember exactly how many coins are in a Dansko album, a full completed set. But a lot of times on eBay, those things will sell for $5 to $10 a coin. And granted, it's barely worth melt, most of them. But you'll have 4 or 5 treasures that make it worth it. I was going to also do a date mint mark set of Washingtons that are nicely toned. As of now, I only got a few. And the problem is, gets a little expensive with certain dates in mint marks. I've been trying to keep the cost under a couple $100 at most per coin. Occasionally I'll splurge for 300, 400, but it can get out of control. So I actually found that good old Franklin's can be really nice toning, provide some really nice toning examples that also are reasonably affordable. Almost every date mint mark has some toning available. And so pretty much dimes and Franklin's are when I'm trying to create a date mint mark set of really nice toned coins. And the last kind of theory here, I feel like so often, excuse me, you see people build sets, and when they complete them, they turn around and sell it. I don't know if that'll be true for me. I guess if I'm watching this in the future, I will hopefully have completed it. Maybe. I don't know if there ever is such thing as completion, because you could always improve things. But in any case, I feel like if you sent to PCGS a very well curated set, the graders might appreciate that more and almost give you the clearly subjective game of grading. They might give you a grade bump when they see that the person who put this set together clearly cared and had a thoughtful eye. So that's kind of my theory, my take on things. This is more of a basic kind of toning coin. So yeah, to my future self, hopefully you don't lose the love of collecting. Thanks for watching, everybody. Take care.